Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're ranking the most armored vehicles in GTA Online. From cars that are just bulletproof all the way up to vehicles that can take 25 homing missiles and beyond. If you enjoy this style of GTA Online content, consider dropping a like and subscribing. Let's get started. Starting us off strong, we have the Karen Armored Kuruma for $525,000 to $698,250. Now the Armored Kuruma can't take any explosive damage at all. One explosion and it's done. However, it gives you about a 95% chance of surviving small arms fire, which is perfect for dealing with NPCs, though any player that knows what they're doing will absolutely shred you. This is definitely something to use against the NPCs of GTA Online and definitely not the players. Next up, we have the armored variants of standard vehicles. Most armored variants of normal cars can take 2 RPGs or 2 homing missiles and come with bullet resistant windows. With the Agents of Sabotage DLC, nearly all armored variants, like the Benefactor Shafter V12 and the V12 Armored, the Gallivanter Baller LE and the LE Armored, the Benefactor XLS and the XLS Armored, and more, can now be upgraded with the Missile Lock-On Jammer, making them that much more useful than they used to be. These are super great budget-friendly Imani Tech options that will provide you some armor, but they're going to be a fraction of the cost of some of the Imani Tech vehicles themselves. Up next, we have the Imponte Ducadeath. This is a free vehicle, and it now has access to the Imani Tech Missile Lock-On Jammer thanks to the Agents of Sabotage DLC. With this upgrade, it cannot be locked onto, and it can also take 3 RPGs or 9 homing missiles or up to 7 explosive rounds. It has a top speed of 114.5 miles per hour and weighs a whopping 5,000 kilograms, making it pretty good at bashing vehicles or obstacles out of your way. It's also completely bulletproof from the rear and has slight bullet protection from the front of the car. Next up, we have Imani Tech vehicles that have traditional combustion engines and armor plating available. Most Imani Tech vehicles will fall into this category, including cars like the Grotti Stinger TT, the Bravado Buffalo STX, and more. With armor plating, these can take 4 RPGs or up to 12 homing missiles or 10 explosive heavy sniper rounds. Now there's some variation with these cars too. Earlier Imani Tech vehicles also had bullet resistant windows and front mounted machine guns, while later ones have dropped some of those features but have kept the Missile Lock-On Jammer, armor plating, and oil slick mines. If I had to recommend just one, it would be either the Bravado Buffalo STX or the Grotti Stinger TT. The STX is an incredibly solid 4-door vehicle with front mounted machine guns, but if you want something a little bit faster and you're more of a solo player, the Grotti Stinger TT can be upgraded to have HSW and has a top speed of 168 miles per hour. Up next, we have the HVY Barrage for $1,595,000 to $2,121,350. Now the Barrage is generally not a good vehicle. Regardless though, it can take 5 RPGs or 12 homing missiles or up to 12 explosive rounds. But that's about the only positive. It has serious issues with the tires clipping into the ground, making it extremely annoying to drive. And it's a little bit slower, it's more expensive, and it's worse than the Night Shark. Now it does have a top speed of 108.5 miles per hour, but the acceleration is so bad it's going to take forever to get there. I really don't recommend buying the Barrage, but it does have more armor than the Imani Tech vehicles we just went over. Moving on, we have the TM02 Conjali for $2,895,000 or $3,850,350 if you do not have the trade price. The Conjali is heavily armored, taking 8 RPGs or 8 homing missiles or up to 19 explosive rounds. All of which feels a little bit low for a tank, but it makes sense for balancing reasons. It also gets an explosive proximity mine dropper for the driver, a top-mounted turret for a gunner, and 2 optional grenade launchers for additional passengers. Now it's extremely slow, obviously being that it's a tank, topping out at 42.25 miles per hour. The Conjali is also completely inept at dealing with aerial targets, and it's also the heaviest vehicle on this list, coming in at 30,000 kilograms. Now, with that weight does come a lot of responsibility, and if you run over vehicles while you're driving it, those are going to explode and do damage to the Conjali, making its armor less effective significantly. So be careful of that. Up next, we have the HVY APC for $2,325,000 or $3,092,500 depending on if you have the trade price or not. The APC shares the same 8 RPG or 8 homing missile, 19 explosive round armor as the Conjali, but it's cheaper, faster, and amphibious. It's also entirely bulletproof from behind. The APC can travel on land and water, and this is a big advantage. The APC also lets the driver switch into the passenger seat without exiting the vehicle, allowing solo players to use it a lot more effectively, though it's still better with a gunner. You can equip it with explosive proximity mines and choose between the standard cannon or a SAM turret. However, the SAM turret can lock on and fire rapid missile bursts, but it is limited to just 52 rockets, so you can run out of ammo, whereas the standard turret has unlimited ammo. For most players, the regular turret is probably going to be the better option. Up next, we have the HVY Night Shark for $1,245,000, and the Night Shark is a go-to option for lower level players looking for protection from griefers. It can tank 9 RPGs, or 27 homing missiles, or up to 23 explosive rounds before exploding. It does have front-mounted machine guns for the driver, but they basically do no damage, especially against armored vehicles. Where the Night Shark shines is speed. It's extremely fast for how armored it is, it has all-wheel drive, and it handles very well both on-road and off-road. Now, the Night Shark has a top speed of 105.25 miles per hour, which is quite high for how protected it is, but still not that fast. Up next, we have the HVY Insurgent Pickup Custom for $1,997,500 all in. The Insurgent Pickup Custom is a really interesting vehicle. Like the Night Shark, it can take 9 RPGs, 27 homing missiles, or 23 explosive rounds. Overall, though, it offers more utility. It can seat up to 9 players, it has a top-mounted gun that deals serious damage, and gets explosive proximity mines for the driver. It's very capable off-road, even more so than the Night Shark, while still being fast and responsive for how armored it is. It's weighing in at 8,600 kilograms and has a top speed of 98.5 miles per hour. This thing is a battering ram. If anything gets in your way, the Insurgent will move it out of your way with pure force. Up next, we have the Bravado Half-Track, ahead of the Insurgent and the Night Shark despite having the exact same armor, 9 RPGs, 27 homing missiles, or 23 explosive rounds of resistance. Now, the Half-Track ranks 6th overall for armor in GTA Online, and it's extremely slow, but there's a reason that it beats out the Insurgent Pickup Custom and the Night Shark. The Half-Track has a completely bulletproof front windshield that can never be broken or shot through, plus a fully bulletproof rear cab as well. This means that the only way to kill a driver is through the side windows of the half-track or by blowing the vehicle up entirely. Now, it also gets a proximity mine dropper, which helps keep enemies off you, and God knows they're going to catch up because this thing is slow as hell, topping out at 58 miles per hour. But it also has the front roller attachment that boots anything that's in front of you out of the way. So it's very slow, but it's very armored, and the driver is very well protected. Plus, of course, it has that turret on the back that deals a lot of damage. It's no wonder they call this thing the Armored Turtle. Up next, we have electric Imani Tech vehicles with armor plating. Now, electric vehicles like the Bravado Buffalo EVX, Ocelot Virtue, Obey Omnis EGT, and others all have significantly more armor than their gas-powered counterparts. These can usually take 12 homing missiles, 12 RPGs, or 28 heavy sniper explosive rounds, which is a big step up compared to the non-electric Imani Tech vehicles with armor plating. All of these also have the missile lock-on jammer available for them, as well as oil slick proximity mines, which are great for spinning out enemies chasing you. If I had to recommend just one of these vehicles, I would say the Bravado Buffalo EVX because it has armor plus an available HSW upgrade that takes the top speed from 119 miles per hour all the way up to 144.75 miles per hour, and the handling is pretty decent on it for a muscle car. Up next, we have the Rune Zaba for $1,800,000 to $2,400,000, depending on if you have the trade price. Now, there's no nice way to say this, so I'll just say it. This is one of the worst vehicles in GTA Online, and I would never, and I mean never, recommend you to buy it. However, the Zaba is surprisingly well armored. It can take up to 14 RPGs or 14 homing missiles or 33 explosive heavy sniper rounds, which is honestly insane and pretty much the only redeeming quality that this vehicle has. Now, it's also amphibious, meaning it can drive on land and move through water, but it's very slow in both cases. It does have some decent customization options available, but realistically it's not worth owning just for the armor. It's too bad in every other category to justify the purchase. It has a top speed of 62.75 miles per hour, and I wouldn't even say it has any sort of capability as to what I would describe as handling normally. The Zaba just really doesn't understand the concept of handling or grip. Up next, and we're into the big three, we got the Benefactor Terabyte for $1,375,000 starting, but you can easily rack it up to over $4 million. The Terabyte has received some major upgrades last December in the Agents of Sabotage DLC that made it much better than it used to be. It can now be upgraded with a missile lock-on jammer, a master control terminal, a silent running module that takes you off radar while it's stationary, and armor-wise it can take up to 32 homing missiles or 32 RPGs, or up to 81 explosive heavy sniper rounds. It also comes equipped with bullet-resistant windows too. It has a top speed of 87.5 miles per hour and weighs in at 10,000 kilograms. Now, it's not the best for ramming stuff out of the way, but at that weight, it's pretty hard to kill this thing's momentum. Up next, we have the Acid Lab for $750,000 initially, plus the $250,000 equipment upgrade to make the Acid Lab run as efficiently as possible. This thing is an absolute tank, and it can take 48 homing missiles or 48 RPGs, or up to a whopping 115 explosive heavy sniper rounds, which puts it very far ahead of the previously mentioned Terabyte in raw armor. That said, I'm pretty skeptical that it would actually survive better than a Terabyte in real PvP, and the reason for this is because the Terabyte has that missile lock-on jammer and the silent running module, which removes it from the radar while stationary, while the Acid Lab relies purely on armor. Because of these things, the Terabyte might actually fare better in a real scenario, but for this list, the Acid Lab ranks higher on a technicality. The Brigade 6x6 also gets access to multiple different types of proximity mines that can be dropped while driving. Slick mines are usually the best option, but the EMP mines are also solid. It has a top speed of 90.5 miles per hour and weighs in at 14,000 kilograms. Pair this with one of the RAM options and anything that gets in your way will not stand a chance at killing your momentum short of the train. But of course, the #1 most armored vehicle in GTA Online still to this day is the MOC, costing $1,225,000, but that is the base price and you can definitely rack it up to way more than that. The MOC cab is generally regarded as the most armored vehicle in GTA Online, and it can take a ridiculous 69 homing missiles or 24 RPGs or up to 59 explosive heavy sniper rounds, which is insanity. This has been the most armored vehicle in the game for years now, and I honestly doubt that this will ever change. The Phantom Custom has a top speed of 103.5 miles per hour and weighs a whopping 12,000 kilograms. So it'll move stuff out of your way incredibly well. However, the brakes are absolutely awful, so be wary of that. So there you have it, guys. Those are the most armored vehicles in GTA Online heading into 2026. I really hope you found this video informative or useful. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. Let me know what other videos you want me to make, and I'll do it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.